Hey folks, Reyma McCoy McDeid here. My pronouns are she and her. And I am going to share a little bit about why I vote, why I will vote by November 3rd of 2020, and why I will continue to vote at every available opportunity here in Iowa. So, two big reasons, and they pertain to the disability community, but we don't necessarily talk about these issues as being specific to the disability community. Issue one, police violence is a public health issue. Police violence impacts disabled people disproportionately in comparison to non-disabled people. For disabled people that are brown or black, it's an issue that's even more so impactful. But it's not just people who are physically impacted by police violence that experience the consequences of police violence. It's the brown and black communities as well, and indigenous communities. 1 in 2.5 black American men out of 1,000 in this country are killed by police violence in comparison to 1 out of every 1,000 white men. And so it's an issue that is pervasive, and has caused a lot of racial trauma in the black community. And so it's an issue that we need to discuss more with regards to the disability community. And for people that disagree with me on that, we are a community of people that say that every issue is a disability issue. And so if that's the case, then this one is a disability issue as well. I also want to discuss COVID-19 from an intersectional lens as well. Disproportionate number of brown and black people are dying of COVID-19 in this country, including in Iowa. And by and large, people who live in institutional settings are the ones that are being the most impacted. And so that is definitely a topic of conversation that needs to continue. But with regards to brown and black people, we also need to have conversation about the fact that it's not just residents of institutional settings that are contracting and dying of COVID-19. It's also the individuals that work in these settings, caregivers, certified nursing assistants, direct support professionals, et cetera, et cetera. In our country, 6 out of 10 of these folks are people of color, women of color in particular, immigrant women specifically. And so the people that provide services to folks who are disabled are, based on their proximity, they experience some semblance of membership to the disability community. We need to discuss that more. We need to, when we're doing advocacy and when we're going to the polls to vote ultimately, we need to be voting with them in mind, because if they're not available to provide services and supports to us, that's going to facilitate people who are disabled in Iowa going into institutional settings because the services and supports are not available out in the community because they aren't able to be staffed. And so that also is a disability issue, and it's something that weighs heavily on me ultimately when I'm standing in the poll and making my selections on election day. And so I invite those of you who are listening to me to join me in that, and think of your own reasons for voting on and by election day as well. Thank you, and happy voting on November 3rd.